I never thought I'd be sitting in a hotel room talking to a camera about writing, but here I am. And so, if you're also a writer who is considering joining a platform like Instagram, TikTok, or whatever's trending at the time you're watching this video, um, just know that I can relate to you and I've been there. And this is what this video is about. I just want to share my top tips on how to start, where to start. Before I begin, I'd just like to point out that even though we're on social media, primarily we're writers, and as a writer your time is so precious. And honestly, don't let social media and these temporary trends distract you from your real passions and the things that bring you joy. Because personally speaking, when I first started posting on YouTube and Instagram, and frankly back then I even had a TikTok, which was a fail, but I had to go through it to learn what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do and what was really necessary. However, it took that experience to understand that social media should be used as a tool, but also to have fun with it and to not let it drag you away from what's really important to you. And in this case, it was writing. And we cannot let it diminish our progress as writers. So, first things first is pick a platform that you want to concentrate on. This could be one, this could be two, but essentially the fewer the better, especially if you're just starting out. In my case, I began with Twitter, then I proceeded to make a Instagram, and then I created a YouTube to complement that, and then I joined TikTok as well. And for me, I couldn't manage all of that. For me, TikTok was an app that I had no clue how to navigate, first of all, because I didn't use it even for leisurely purposes. But I realized very quickly that that was not sustainable, and I hated posting on those platforms. And for me, Twitter was just never very natural. I feel like it lacked the community and the connection I was trying to find. I found that I preferred Instagram because I could post videos, but I could also post stories and I could also post carousels and pictures. The second tip is figure out exactly what you want to post. Now, this is easier said than done, and it's going to take more time than you think. For me, I went through a lot of different types of content just to, figure out what I like to post and what I could create consistently. I have decided to go ahead with Reels because I love to create videos and I like the flexibility that gives me. But also, I like to post carousels, and carousels are basically like a series of photos. So, I can take a picture of my coffee while I'm writing, and I can take a picture of my word count after a session of writing, and I could share it. Also, allow yourself some grace because you are a writer who is just approaching social media as a newbie, and you don't need to be competing with all these big names and big accounts. You just need to be having fun with what you're doing. Essentially, the social media is just an adjunct to what you're doing. It's there to show the background of stuff, the writing process, and helping you engage with other people who are probably on the same journey as you. Also, know that you don't have to share too much of your life on social media, and maybe sit down and create some boundaries with social media and decide on what you want and don't want to share. So, for example, if you're someone who doesn't like to show your face on social media, maybe it's just a temporary thing, or you just don't ever want to show your face or share your voice. That is totally okay, and there are accounts that do that and they create content without showing their face, and they pick and choose what they share, and that's something you can totally do. Number three is consistency. Unfortunately, like with many other things, consistency is very important, and you can't expect to post one thing and then reappear 2 months later and have this amazing following that is really conversational with you and is waiting for you to post, because that's just not how social media works. You can spend so much time on a post and have it never reach its target audience, but that's the algorithm and that's not you, so don't take anything personally. However, with consistency, I would suggest not to put too much pressure on it where you are now, struggling to post once a week, or maybe you're struggling to post even once a month. Whatever it is that you decide to go with in terms of scheduling, just try and stick with it and know that you will fail multiple times before creating a rhythm with social media. So it's okay if you are consistent for a month and then you kind of, fall off the tracks. That's normal. It happens to us all. And especially as a hobbyist, as a writer, we're already allotting our time for certain, other things like, finishing our manuscript. That's important. I'd even go as far as saying that's more important. So it's okay if consistency is not your strong suit. It's something you can always improve on, but it's something to keep in mind as well. Number 4 is something that's kind of controversial. Some people might agree with it, and I know that a lot of people disagree with what I have to say, but that's talking about niche, talking about aesthetic and style of your content. So when I first began, I believed that everything had to follow a specific filter. So, all the pictures had to be under the same filter, and it had to follow a very precise pattern. And you'll see a lot of accounts that do that and do them very well. However, I found myself stressing about the wrong things, and posting just became a chore for me. So I would like to highlight that this isn't as important as you might think it is. Creating relevant content for your followers is arguably more important than deciding or stressing about the specific font that you're creating with, or the color of the filter that you've chosen. These things can change, but if your content is following a specific pattern and your followers know what to expect from you, for example, every Monday you're sharing writing advice, your followers will appreciate that because they know what to expect every week when Monday comes. So I would argue that's more important than stressing about, these things that may or may not be true with the algorithm, but that's just up to you. Number 5 is try and keep things simple. The simpler you keep them, the less it stresses you out and keeps you away from writing. Once you decide that you want to take social media a little bit more seriously and you want to create consistent content, there are several ways that you can go about doing this. It can be as easy as writing your ideas for videos or, posts in your notes app on your phone, for example. You could be creating a Google document and maybe a table on Word document. It could be literally that simple. I've tried that. For me, the issue was having too many documents scattered on my laptop. And then when it came to filming or it came to actually posting, I didn't know where anything was. So I went through several productivity websites and, trying to find the free versions of them and figuring out which one didn't delete all my data after the free trial was over. But I finally settled down on a website called Airtable, and this popped up completely by accident. I feel like I saw someone on Instagram using it and they weren't even advertising it. It was just in the background of their video. But I love the font and the color scheme and everything, and it just looked so simple to my eyes that I wanted to explore it. So I created an account, started writing a couple of video ideas, and made the table to suit my own needs. And I try to keep things simple. And eventually the free trial was over. 14 days had passed. I think it was 7 or 14, I can't remember. But surprisingly, I have stuck with it. For me, that's a big thing because I delete accounts very quickly when I get tired of them. So I'm happy with Airtable. I only have one content calendar, and I'll show you on the screen right here where you can see that I have the main column for my video ideas. I note down which type they are. Right now they're all YouTube videos. And then I kind of write a short content description, and I use different websites to help me make a very, very concise and organized structure for those videos, so that when I sit down and write the scripts, I have a template to refer to, and just to make my life more easier. And I have the status written as well, so have I done it? Have I got to do it still? And all that. One thing I'd like to highlight over here is that I create content pillars, and I learned this from another YouTuber where she said that you should like create three content pillars, and that is basically going to describe what your content is about. So for me personally, I decided on writing lifestyle, I chose entertainment, and then I chose behind the scenes or educational or how to kind of content. So that's that. I'm still kind of lenient with how often I create a specific content pillar video or content. It's, you know, it's a mix and match process, but I'm still kind of figuring things out. But what I can say is that this is a massive improvement from when I began around 2 years ago. So it does feel nice to have like a systematic approach to making content. So there you have it, a short introduction to beginning social media as a writer. So just to quickly summarize, pick a platform, be consistent, engage with other writers through comments or following other accounts that are similar to yours or that you enjoy. Keep things simple, but also keep them systematic if you can. And lastly, have fun with it. Let me know in the comments which platform you decide to stick to. Also, maybe consider sharing your username or where to find you online in the comments below for other writers to find you and to make friends. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.